There we go. Okay. I am super excited to be here with you. We had a little glitch there. Um, make sure I'm live here on my page because I don't see anyone here yet, which could mean there we go. We got somebody. I had a little glitch at the beginning. Come on in, say hi. I'm just gonna make sure I can find me, because if I can find me, you can find me. Are we here? Let's see. Okay, so come on in and say hi. I'm so glad you're here. Super excited to share some of my favorite. We're going to do a little bit different. We're going to do a little Joyful Crafting Club edition of 5 faves this week. I was calling it Friday faves, but I realized once the kids are back in school, I'm probably going to do this on Saturday morning. And because I can do this from anywhere. And I really want to get back to my Friday crafting with y'all because we have so much fun. Oh, hey, Dana. Happy Friday. Hey, Tammy. So come on in. What do y'all have planned for this work? Today, we're going to talk about my 5 faves. And so if you've been here, I've started doing this recently where I share 5 of my favorite things with you. Today, we might have 6. We might have a bonus. And I thought today I kind of spilled the beans on some of our favorite crafting hacks inside of the Joyful Crafting Club, so that I can show you how tell you some of the projects or the supplies or the craft tools that our people use to get these gorgeous results, even if they're new to crafting. So come on in and say hi. I'm glad you're here. But before we get into like those 5 faves, I want to take a quick trip down memory lane and show y'all some of the stuff that we've crafted in the Joyful Crafting Club. But before we get started with that, drop a comment if you're watching. Hey, Trish, say hi and tell me what your plans are for this weekend. Do you have big plans? We do not. It is a balmy 66 degrees in Ohio. And so, and it's raining, which we need the rain for sure. But we're probably going to lay low and do some stuff around the house this weekend. So, hey, Chris. So, what do y'all, you're unpacking. Hey, Amy. Amy's here. You're unpacking this weekend. Yeah. You know what? We're going to do some decluttering. We started that last weekend and I stopped like right in the middle of, decluttering my upstairs office. I have an upstairs office. This house has 2 like office spaces, or like one is like it has doors on. I don't know. So Joe and I both have an upstairs office, which I don't really use at all. So I've got to clear all the junk out of there. So that is our plan for the weekend. But let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Let me say hi to everybody who's here. So Dana's here. Happy Friday. She's always so cheerful and happy. Amy Perry Humphrey's here. Tammy. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Trish. If you're new here, let us know. Let us know so we can give you a warm welcome. And if you're watching on the replay, of course, drop hashtag replay so that I can say hi to you later. Chris, I love seeing your names. It really helps me get to know you. It gets to, it helps me get to know who shows up. And if you're just watching and commenting, of course, I'm happy you're watching, but I'd rather be able to see your name and say hi and put a name with a profile picture. Joan, hi, Joan. Okay, everyone's swooning over your bee tray. Like, holy cow. I mean, that thing is gorgeous. You did an amazing job on that. Amy has got a 16th birthday party. Tammy's been cleaning out the bedroom closet. Okay, we have got to do yard work. It was so rainy and cold in Ohio that we just barely got it started. Cold and yucky. And then it warmed up and we got started and now it's raining again. So the earrings, thank you. So these came from my frame subscription box. So Sarah Williams, she's my business coach, but I also get her, I'm an ultimate subscriber to her box. And I love them too. I've worn them all week long. Let me show you guys. So y'all, you know I can make earrings with I've got all of the things. We are going to get to earring making. Because look, this is a wood disc. Okay. All of you guys who like to make. I have all the jump rings, the hoops. But this is like This is fabric pattern backed cork is what it's called. And it's just cut in a circle. So these are really cute. I've got some other fun pattern designs like that, but you can cut this with a laser. So we may be doing earrings someday. Just as an aside, because I do really enjoy making them. I love to make earrings, but I did not make these. Oh, hey. Yay, Janet's here. She just joined the Joyful Crafting Club. Yay! So you'll get an email from me soon. We're going to do on Monday, sometime Monday, we're going to do a new member welcome. So we'll let everybody in on Monday, and we'll do a live and welcome y'all in the group and kind of give you the lay of the land and let you know what you need, answer all of your questions. So Gail's going to a funeral. Joan's got wedding and yard work. Oh, Gail at the beginning, and just having the funeral. I'm sorry for the loss. That's a lot. Tammy. Go back to the office 3 days a week instead of 1. Girl, we got to figure out how to make you an extra $100 a month. That's how my brain works. I'm like, I gotta make. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I will say, I would not want to have to go back in the office 3 days a week at all. Janet, I do want to say, I want to go back to Janet for just a minute. This is a great community. These ladies are awesome. They're a lot of fun, and you're gonna have fast friends. So you're gonna have fast friends and people to talk to, and it's going to be a lot of fun for you. So, Tammy, we can chat about that, how you can make some money. I'm still like, that's how my brain works. I'm like, okay, we got to figure this out. We've had to do that a lot with my son. Like when he's got a new therapy, we're like, okay, we got to make the money to pay for this therapy. So I started the Joyful Crafting Club. While we're on this subject, let's talk about this. I've always been a crafter since I was a little kid. Like my earliest days, I can remember. And how many of you guys can relate to this? You've always crafted. You were a maker of something. I was teaching myself to cross stitch, or my granny taught me to crochet, or when I had to have wisdom teeth pulled, and I did those. Just remember back in the day, we had those. It's like a yarn hook rug. And you would hook that in and make like a rug out of it. I did that. I was always into the craft books, making something for as long as I can remember. But my whole life, I've never had a group of friends who to craft with, ever. My girlfriends and I tried a couple times to get together and make some crafts, but we could never kind of get on the same page because one person crafted this way and another crafted another way. And we ended up making stuff maybe I wasn't crazy about, or they weren't crazy about. I mean, it was fun time together, but also we had small kids at the time. And so we were trying to like manage small kids and paint, and it never really worked. And then we got into that period in our life where Nate, my oldest son, who has developmental disabilities, he was in a lot of therapies. And when I say a lot of therapies, we lived in Prosper, Texas at the time. So we lived here in Dallas proper. The city of Dallas is here. And it's like with no traffic, it's a 45-minute drive, if you have no traffic. With traffic, it's an hour and a half. And so I had 2 little kids. Joe was traveling 80 to 90% because for most of our marriage, he traveled 80 to 90%. And I was going up and down 75 or up and down the tollway every day of the week because the specialists were all in Dallas. And that's what we needed. And I had 5 to 8 therapy appointments a week downtown. And so I was alone a lot. Joe was traveling. I was taking him up and down the tollway. And then on top of the therapies, there was a lot of stuff we had to do at home. There's a lot. like he couldn't eat. So I had to cook 3 meals a day, and we had to sit down 3 times a day with all the food out on, I'm talking like, different things. I had like a program I had to follow. And I had a Nate, and I had a baby. And so it was a lot. It was a lot. And I was alone a lot. And I don't know if you guys have ever been through a period in your life where you've gone through a hard time, and you have to say no to a lot of other things because you've got to deal with that one thing right there in front of you. And you can't go do all of the other things you want to do. And so I was relatively isolated. I was alone a lot. And again, Joe was traveling, and we didn't have any family. And so that's when I started picking up crafting again. And I picked up crochet first because that was something I could take with me. And we did that. And then things changed. Nate got into school, things got better, and he still had lots of therapies, but we had this one set of friends who would always invite us, and they knew that if Joe was out of town, they'd invite us over for barbecue, or they'd invite us over to swim, or they would come over to our house and hang out. They were amazing friends, and we had some neighbors too who would support us. But I still didn't have my tribe. I didn't have my people. And so then I got the laser one year for our anniversary. I was running, at this time I was homeschooling the kids, and I was in charge of a homeschool co-op. And that was probably the time where I was most surrounded by other women, because we had a group of people that, we saw and interacted with on a regular basis. And I had some good friends there. They still weren't crafters, but they were great. They were great women. We talked a lot about homeschool curriculum, and we did kid activities, but we didn't do a lot of to nourish moms, right? We did a lot of stuff to nourish kids, but not moms. And so I bought these pencils, funny pencils off of Etsy, and they had funny sayings on them, like, like snack dispenser, chaos coordinator, Jesus and coffee, homeschool and coffee, just these funny sayings that I would give them out to the moms as like, and they loved those pencils. They thought they were so fun. So I kind of dug down and was like, how do they make these? And they had a video on this website where I bought the pencils of this laser engraving the pencils. And I was like, Joe, this is so cool. So I got kind of obsessed with these pencils. And Joe got me a Glowforge for our anniversary that year. The basic model, they had just come out. They were much less expensive than they are now. And that's how because I had a silhouette that I'd use to craft some things. And when I crafted things like birthday party decorations. I would do, someday I'll show you guys pictures, but I would cut all the banners, and I'd make all the cupcake toppers, and I would make table centerpieces with all of the cutouts, and I would bake the cake, decorate the cake, and then I would put that, make the decorations with my silhouette, like cake toppers, and I'd make snack bags or treat bags, and they all had these little print and cut tags. I'll get pictures and show you guys sometime. But and that's kind of how I crafted. But it was alone. I did not have a tribe. I didn't have a community. So fast forward to moving to Ohio, and we put all the kids into school. And I looked at Joe. I'm like, Joe, and I'd been selling stuff on Etsy. I'd been sharing with people. I'd been selling Christmas ornaments and door hangers and stuff like that. But we were talking, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? The kids are in school. I can't just sit in the basement and make stuff all day. And I'd gotten into tier trays over the time too. And I loved my tier trays. I loved that. Someone who is challenged, if you will, when it comes to decorating, because I am challenged when it comes to decorating. Stacy from Wilshire Collections, she's my secret hero, because I'm oh my God, she can craft and she can decorate. Hey, Julie. This is my friend Julie. She is wreath maker extraordinaire. We're just kind of chatting how I got to where I am. Julie knows all of this. We talk on a regular basis. We have a Voxer channel. We talk all the time. So if you guys don't follow Julie, go check her out. Her stuff is amazing. She is such a great wreath maker. And she teaches people how to use, she actually taught me how to use social media. So if you want to learn how to use social media, she's your girl. So fast forward to like I'm making these wood cutouts, and then I learn how to cut the tier trays and stuff. And I say to Joe, like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I can't just sit in the basement and like make things. Like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, here I am again at this crossroads where, you know, the kids have changed directions, and now I don't know if moms can relate to this, but it's like you do one thing for this period of life for your kids, and then their needs change, and so your life has to change, and then you do another thing. So my kids are now at the point where they're all in school, right? They're all in school. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'd worked at our construction company, and our marriage is better. If you've ever worked with your husband, we just decided it wasn't great for both of us to be working 60 hours a week. And so, yeah, go tell your dad. Yeah. And so, you know, I kind of did some soul searching, and I realized I love the tier trays. I love teaching people how to paint. I love teaching people who can take one space in their home with a tiered tray and some wood cutouts and transform it. And I need people. And I know I know there's got to be other people out there like me who would love to have a community of women who are just like them, who love to craft, who enjoy painting, who enjoy learning, and who want to have a beautiful space in their home, but they don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and weeks and tons of money having to do it. You know, they can have that one beautiful space in their home. They can transform it in a few hours, and it looks amazing. And when people come over, they're like, wow. And that's kind of how the Joyful Crafting Club was born. Like, I needed it. I know that other women need it, and that's kind of what our community is. Like, you get in there, and they're warm, they're inviting, they share ideas, they're freely sharing of ideas. Like, one person does their tray this way, like I show my tray, and then somebody does it a different way, and someone else is like, oh, I love your tray, can I copy that? And they're like, absolutely. Like, there's no ego involved. Everybody just wants everyone to have a beautiful decor and to be happy with it, and they're friends. And yes, Julie just said crafting is good therapy. Like, it's good for the soul. It quiets your mind. It gets you out of that craziness of the day-to-day grind. It gives you your brain some time to process it. And when you're done with your craft, like, you can go on, you know? And so, and your problems don't seem as heavy. You're like, oh, wait, it's not as big of a deal as I thought it was, you know? So the group is just amazing. And what I'll say is that, like, I've needed these ladies just as much as as they've, I think, needed to be in the group, because they're all, they're my people. They're my people. And yeah, I see some people are relating, like Dana saying she's at a crossroads now because her kids are grown, and you have to like find a new purpose in life, you know? You have to find a new way to be you, right? Chris said her husband didn't travel, but he worked nights. Yeah. Yep. And Gail's husband was a truck driver, and she had heart issues, so you were alone. Yeah. And that's what it was when we talked about what am I going to do? We knew I couldn't go back to a normal 9-to-5 job. Like, I have a teaching degree of a master's in elementary education, and it would save us a lot of money if we had the school health insurance. But our kids need someone who can get them off the bus and take them to therapy. I have 2 kids that are in they both are in reading tutoring twice a week, and they're both in speech therapy twice a week. And there's no way to make that work if you have to be at work until 5:00. Joe would have to do it. And then who would run and take care of his, you know, our construction company? And so we decided like this was it. So that's why I'm here. I really enjoy, like, there's nothing that brings me more joy than when you guys get your boxes every month and you're like, "Holy cow, this is so fun," or I see your trays, or I see your faces light up because you have this beautiful space in your home and you're like, "Hey, wait, I did this," you know? And it makes you feel really good about, finishing. Like, we're women, right? We don't finish anything. The laundry's never done. The dishes are never done. We are never done cooking dinner. We're never done buying groceries. Like, none of that is ever the house. The cleaning is never done. It's just an ongoing process. And even though we might have jobs outside of the home where we finish something, like in the home, it's good to have something where you finish. It's done and it looks amazing, right? So it feels like a big purpose for me too, you know? And I was honestly, I was scared in the beginning. I was like, is anyone even gonna like show up for this? Like, is anyone even gonna like participate? You know? Um, are they and I thought about this honestly, I thought about it for over a year before I started it. I s- I thought about the Joyful Crafting Club for an entire year. And I was too scared to start it because I thought no one's going to show up. No one's going to show up and then what? And then here you guys are, you know. Here you guys are and it just makes my heart so full. And I really love y'all. So, I wanted to take everyone down that road and tell you why I'm here and why I do it. You know, I work a lot of late nights and early mornings, and it allows me to flex my life around the kids and make sure my kids still get what they need. And they're at a stage where developmentally even, you know, like with my kiddo, Nate, who's got autism and a speech disorder and dyslexia, and my other kiddo who's got dyslexia, it allows me to like do what I need to do to take care of them, but it also allows me to show up and be fulfilled as a woman, separate and apart from being a mom. And and it's just such a blessing. And it's such a blessing to be able to take like what I've learned over the years and share it with you guys. And I learn from you too. Dana's saying that I'm saying everything that she's how you feel and think. Yeah, I think a lot of women go through this. I think we go through it and I think we're like because whether or not like we think that this is just who we were created to be. Like Joe doesn't have the same Joe is an amazing dad, but he doesn't he doesn't have the same he's always been the breadwinner. Let's just put it that way. His role as the breadwinner and has been very different than my role as mom and like caretaker. And so I've kind of had to like reinvent myself every so often. But I'm pretty sure that the Joyful Crafting Club is here to stay. There's years and years and years of blessing women and homes and helping women make their homes feel inviting and beautiful without breaking the budget, right? And giving them a community where they can show up and be who they are and be a part of, you know? So let's take a little walk down memory lane and I'll show you the stuff we've made. And then I'll give you my 5 faves for the week. And it's really one of the ways that we get into super great crafting in the group and how we get really good results. But I want to, Kim says she used to go to a scrapbook store and meet friends. So I went to a couple scrapbook meetups, but like the scrapbooking was never my thing. I don't know why. I love to paper craft, but the scrapbooking just never, but I tried that once and I have tons of scrapbook stuff. I bought all the stuff, but it didn't, my heart is in tech crafting. I'm kind of a nerd. And and so if you give me a machine and I can create something from that machine, I'm like all in. And so except the crochet. I do love the crochet. But if you give me a machine, generally that's where my heart is. I like the Glow Forge, the Silhouette. I have a sublimation printer. If Joe's watching, he knows that I still haven't hooked it up. I'm going to do that sometime on a live. I'm going to hook up the subli printer. We're going to do that together and see if we can get it going. But my heart is really just to provide a community and a space for women where they can show up, be themselves, and they can create and make their home more beautiful and feel good about themselves at the same time. So, let's look at last month. A lot of you guys saw this on a couple of nights ago, but let's just take a little walk down memory lane, and then we'll talk about our 5 faves. So this is part of, let me see if I can lift this up. This is what we made this month. We did an Americana tray. My firecrackers have fallen over, but you can go back on my page and see, but this is what we did this month. And the embellishments are in there like this. Let me show you the bead garland here, which was fabulous. We made this, and I teach all of this in the club. So this is part of what we did in the club this month. Super fun, super fun. Look how cute this is. This was one of the mini signs, and I just popped it onto a sign stand. So that was this month, June. And then we made these couple others. These are from the printables that I put in the box. And so there's printables in every box. Sometimes there's one printable, sometimes you've got 2. But this month, the early bird bonus for this time that I opened the club are these sign stands. So if you're in the club, you're going to get them. And if you join the first day, you also get these little sign stands. You get one of each, and they're super cute, super fun. And then the little thing, this one, you can next month put something on the back. Okay. So it's a great little way to make it reversible. So you could 2 months out of this. So the last month, then the month before, we made a strawberry tray, and I'll show you some of the pieces from the strawberry tray. We did the choice. So every month I give my ladies a choice. They get a choice between 2 things. And this time the choice was between a truck and a basket. Some of the ladies opt for both, and they purchase the, oh, I can't do that right now. You're going to have to wait. I don't know if he can or not, baby. So this is, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. They're wanting me to authorize time on the Xbox. We have all the electronics on lockdown at our house, because if not, my kiddo with autism, he would never be off of the electronics. So we have very strict measures in place, but every month I give the ladies a choice, and sometimes they opt to get both, and they can purchase the second one at a discounted price, and it just goes right in that box. So these were those 2. We had a jam jar. This says, oh yeah, I personalized everybody's jam jars this month. So everybody's first name was on the jam jar, and this was Amy's strawberry jam. And how cute is that? Oh yeah, Julie, the strawberries were fun. This was like a little shiplap sign, strawberries, you pick sign. And this could, like, if you wanted to hang these little sign stands, these are perfect. So 5-inch rounds or 5.5-inch rounds are perfect to hang on these mini sign stands. You can hang any of those. That month also had a little cutting board. And so like all of these the fabric, the button, the ribbon, the jute, all of that comes in the box. And I showed them how to make these little bows. They love mini garland. Like, they're obsessed with mini garland. So we usually have a mini garland. And this month was strawberries. Cute, right? I taught them how to do this little trick to paint these little seeds really easily. Yeah, Gail asked if I made the sign stand. Yeah, I did. This is in my shop. This is, and see the big one back there too? Can you see that one? Hold on. Whoa, that one. I'm reverse on the camera, that black one. The black one is also, you can paint them whatever color you want, but that's in my shop too. And they're such a fun way to display your signs. Yeah. And then, let's see. And then another part of this tray was we did a strawberry garland. and little gingham beads were in there. And this month I left my beads natural. So that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So I show them how to do that. And then now I'll show you one more tray. This was that tray I called Strawberry Fields. This one I called United We Stands. And this one I called Spring Blooms, I think. Blooms, something about the blooms. This was my favorite sign in the whole thing. So this is got a little, when you make this, it's got a little spacer and you can pop flowers in. I put hydrangeas in there because it matched the color theme. So everyone got a bloom. And then you have a little flower pot with a 3D thing in there. Isn't that cute? I love this. And then the sign stands. This is a sign stand. And any signs that need a stand go right in there. So that makes it stand up. And I include those in with the subscription. So this was this month, our first month. We had a sign that said, live life in full bloom. And so I saw ladies who maybe they were like, they didn't want to go with the bright pink and they popped in some of their own flowers, but you could use this other times, you know, of the summer and change the flower color out. But the reason that I chose that color is we had, our choice this month was a bird or a butterfly. And so these went with it. And this was the scrapbook paper that we decoupaged on. So we had this color in this little like really bright pink and navy because that's so popular right now. And then this little polka dot paper. So we decoupaged that on. So they had either a bird or a butterfly. And it's just a fun different shape to put in the tray instead of always having like a square or a round. It's just like something a little taller to give some visual difference, if you will. So super cute. We made mason jar flowers. We did a wash over it, so it kind of looked like there was water in there. Our bead garland this month, 3 different colors with these bright colors that again coordinated with the paper we used. And then we had, let's see, our mini garland because they love their mini garland. And then this was what we did with our printable. We did a reverse canvas this month. And so again, I made this in mind, like anyone who had the sign stand, they could hang it on there and display it next to their tray. You see how cute that is? And this is just a Dollar Tree canvas, and we turned it into this. Oops, a Dollar Tree 4x6. And we turned it into this. So see how cute that is? Super cute. So some of you guys, let's see what you guys are saying. Leslie, hey Leslie, she says the bloom was one of her faves. It is fun. You can pull that back out, like even in fall, and because navy is such a great fall color, and you can pop a different color bloom in there, and it's gonna look amazing. And if you notice, like I try to not have totally different color schemes every single month, so we can transfer some of those paint colors from month to month. Or I might go back, and if we're going to use navy in a couple months, I'm going to use the same navy we used before to minimize having to go out and buy stuff all the time. Just we try and minimize that piece of it. We have a lot of fun. So let me tell you then, I want to share my 5 faves. I'm going to drop the links while we're chatting just to tell you some of this, just so that you can kind of see, if you're not in the Joyful Crafting Club, you can kind of see firsthand some of the stuff that we use in there to get these results. And it's nothing crazy. It's all really simple stuff that you can find anywhere. And I put the link to the Joyful Crafting Club in the description. So if you want to join the Joyful Crafting Club, we'd love to have you join. If you've got more questions, you can shoot me a DM. But one of the things that we do almost every month, a lot of months, is Mod Podge. I like the matte because it's not shiny. But I actually found some of this at the Dollar Tree recently, the $1.25 tree. I'm going to drop a link to this. But we use it for decoupaging and for getting that paper to stick to the wood. And we love this. This was so much fun. That is a great product. And these bigger bottles will last you forever. But if you do have the little bottle, the $1.25 from the $1.25 tree, like go ahead and grab that one. You know, It's inexpensive, and if you've never Mod Podged before, you can give it a try. So that's number one, Mod Podge. We use this almost every month. I do not use it as a sealer. I have a really good reason why I don't use it as a sealer. I'll tell you why when I get to the jar. Did I get the jar clear? Here we go. I don't usually use it as a sealer. The other thing that we use a lot of is home decor wax. This is the Folk Art brand. This bottle was $2, $2.50, and you use it to distress things, make it look a little aged. Let me show you an example. So on here, can you see where it looks a little worn and distressed? That's from this. And I show you how to do that. Inside of the Joyful Crafting Club, one of the big bonuses, I think, or one of the big benefits is that learning, the education piece. And I make short video tutorials that are 2.5 to the longest ones are usually the bead garlands, just to teach people how to thread them through, get them really tight. 13 minutes. But the great thing about that is we still have a paint night. We still have a paint party night where we get together, I paint, we talk, we have fun, people ask questions, we laugh, and it's really a great community night. But if you don't paint that night, or if you don't get everything done, or you can't make it, I don't want you to have to scroll through a 2-hour live to figure out how to put this sign together. And so you can just go back to that video tutorial, and I show you right in there exactly how to do it in a short method. And some of the ladies watch all the tutorials, and then they come to the paint night. And some of the ladies watch the tutorials and paint on their own. Some people show up for paint night and they paint during the party. But that way you have options for what works best for you. But I don't want you to have to scroll through a 2-hour live to figure out what this piece is for. The other thing, and I don't think I have one right here, but when I wrap these, all of the pieces for one sign go in a package. And that way you don't get a hot Mod Podge pile of a bunch of different pieces and you aren't sure what goes with what. I teach you how to unwrap them and keep them organized so you know what goes where. I teach you how to batch paint, and I teach you how to put everything together. And you keep it organized, and it makes it super simple to paint a tray that has a lot of different pieces. So there's that. So let me put the decor wax. So yeah, I see some people saying like Waverly makes their own brand. Yeah. So the other thing that we use this for is, that's what's here. So instead of stain, I just used like a wash, if you will. I just watered this down. This is highly, highly pigmented, so a little goes a long way. And you can ask Joe, I spilled most of this bottle on the carpet, and I've had it for over a year, and it's still not gone. So I try to really come up with things that are going to be, because we're frugal too, right? We're crafters. We are frugal by nature. And so I try to come up with things that are going to get a bang for your buck. So that's this, the decor wax. Let me drop that link. And I've got links for you if you just want to check them out so you can like get your eyes on it. It's a great product. So there's that. Let's get to my spray adhesive. I use Gorilla spray adhesive heavy duty. When I first started wood crafting, I'm embarrassed to admit this. I got wood glue and I was making these ornaments, like 2 and 3 layer ornaments. And I would get a paintbrush and I would paint the wood glue onto the ornaments and glue them together. And Joe was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm gluing my ornaments." And he was like, "There's got to be a better way." I mean, I was making like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ornaments at the holidays. And I mean, And they found this, and this stuff is awesome. Sometimes I use Loctite for like tiny little pieces, but believe me, no one wants to take Loctite and have to put it around all the different parts of this to glue it together. Get you like a box lid or something, a box to spray into. You lay that down there, you spray it, and pop it together, and we're golden. But we are not Loctiting this or wood gluing. I mean, it's just not a good use of our time. But I did it for a while. You can ask Joe. So, this is something, this is great. It's really great. They make smaller bottles too. I noticed that Loctite does have a spray adhesive. Excuse me. And I haven't tested it, but I think I'm going to test it because we use Loctite in our construction company for several different things, not the spray adhesive, but for like gluing CMU together. So it's a great product. It's a great brand, but so I'm going to test some things for you guys, but this is a good one. So that's that. One of the things we used, big time saver. Let me drop this. And it lasts a long time. Like this big bottle, for as much as I spray, it lasts a long time. I probably haven't bought any for 6 months. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, let's talk about DuraClear. This is another one of my favorites, which I found at Pop Shelf for the first time in Myrtle Beach. I didn't even know this existed, but we found Pop Shelf when we were down there a couple years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And so I grabbed some, and it is amazing. It's a sealer. It's a polyurethane. You can brush it on or put it on with a makeup wedge, which I'll talk about in a second. But this seals your product or your project, and it really makes that paint pop. It goes from kind of being like matte and dull. Even if you use the ultra matte, it just gives it a really nice finish, and it looks beautiful. Like I'll show you. I mean, I've got the satin on this, and see how pretty that is? It's just really, really beautiful. Dana, the spray, no. It doesn't have a smell to it. It can get messy if you spray it like uncontained, but it doesn't have a smell. I need more coffee, guys. I need more coffee. No, it doesn't have a smell. So it says it's an indoor outdoor. I mean, if you have a wood product, you probably don't ever want to put it in the rain. But there's hardly any. It doesn't like if you're like doing polyurethane out of a can from like Home Depot and you're doing furniture, there's a smell to that. There's not a smell. Very, very slight. And it's great to use on your crafting. I know some people have a spray that they spray. And you could do that too. I've never tried the spray sealer because this is so easy. And honestly, I think it would take me more time to like get everything together. When it's finished, put it outside, spray it, let it dry, bring it back inside. I mean, if I was doing that on a regular basis and I had a setup, it would make sense. But this is just so easy because you can just brush it right on while you're working and you don't have to get up or stop. So there's that. The DuraClear, that's one of our other secrets. Let's talk about makeup sponges. So I kind of maybe am different than a lot of other, I don't know. I just try not to use a paintbrush unless I have to because a lot of reasons. One, I don't like to wash them. Two, I think it can be less efficient, especially with wood cutouts, because with wood cutouts, you have these edges and you don't want to get the paint all over the edges, and then you have brush strokes, and I don't know, I just prefer my makeup wedges, and so I get mine from Amazon in bulk. Sometimes they have them at Target and Walmart and you get them for a couple bucks, but I teach you how to cut them in half and then cut them in pieces, and you can get a lot of mileage out of one makeup sponge and you don't have to wash it. wash it out. So, I love my makeup sponges. I use them whenever I can, and it's just so easy. The other thing is you don't have to like rinse your paintbrush out. Like this, when you're done with it, that's it. You don't have to have paint water at your station. So that's the other reason why I really love my makeup sponges. So highly recommend adding some of those to your craft stash. And the last, I think I have a bonus. I had 5, but I think I've got 6 now because I'm going to share this too. If customers use it for a door, probably for that. It says it's indoor outdoor, but I would probably get like a Minwax product if I was using it. I mean, this lasts a really long time for what we do, but for like a door, you're going to need to put like multiple coats and woodworking. You're to sand it down in between. And I think I would get like a Minwax or something. And you might get a spar urethane too, if it's going to be a door, because spar urethane is better for like sun and that kind of thing. That's a whole nother, but yeah, that's what I would do. Hey, Donna. Donna's here. And so my last favorite for crafting in the Joyful Crafting Club is, you can tell I've got it. This is the last of it in this. A 320 grit sandpaper. So let's talk about this. Some of you guys may hear people say, like, guess what? You need a sanding block. Don't buy a sanding block. Not if you're going to do wood cutouts and small pieces. Sanding blocks are big and they're bulky, and you're going to get paint into the sand, and then you've got to get that paint out of there. So if I'm sanding something red and then I switch over to white, what happens is that red paint dust doesn't come all the way out of your sanding block, and then you get that into your white paint or your scrapbook paper when you're decoupaging and you're sanding the paper off the edge. Okay, you need a new piece, but because you want fresh sandpaper is going to be the quickest to get this edge to sand flat and get that extra scrapbook paper off. But if you have you use this, you never ever cut it. You always want to fold it like in half, both ways. And then in half both ways. And then I usually put it like I'm holding it down. You can just rip it right on there or hold it on the edge of a table. But you can even, when you're working with mini signs, and let's say you're going to sand your navy pieces, you could use a piece this small, or sometimes I even make them smaller if I have a small amount to sand, and then you just throw it away. This has lasted me, this is probably 6 months. It's going to last for a long time. The sanding blocks are going to cost the same amount of money as a pack of sandpaper. And you can't get, with a sanding block, you can't get into these little edges and get the paper off. You can't. It's very hard to sand the edges of little letters, if you want to distress them. Like if you can tell here, I usually go in with my sandpaper and kind of just smooth it over and give a little bit of that farmhouse rustic look. So I go around the edges and sand it just a little bit. You can't do that with a sanding block effectively. You're going to break your pieces. So don't buy the sanding blocks. I know people who are like, oh, you have to have a sanding block. Like, it's so great. Like, why? And then especially those ones that are like you Velcro off at one piece and then you put another one back on. Like, why would you want to even have to buy their little Velcroed piece to put on your sanding block? 320. This is a really good question. I have strong opinions about sandpaper. I've told this story a gazillion times. You've probably heard it, but when I was growing up, my dad and I would work together, and that's where I learned most of what I know about working with wood. And when I was a kid, they came out with sanding blocks, and it made my dad so angry because he was like, I cannot believe that they're in there selling those sanding blocks for $5. He is like, they're a waste of money, and it's this and it's that. And so, I mean, it's probably where I get it from, but really they're not effective for this kind of work. They're just not effective. You're going to have problems. If you want to use it, and if I'm going to sand a bigger surface, you can, there's ways to make that sandpaper work, but she's asking about the grit number. Yeah, the higher the number, it means the, basically, think of it as the higher the number, the more concentrated and finer the sandpaper is. So you're going to get a finer finish. And so if you're talking about more grit in terms of take away more stuff, you would start. So the ones that are going to take away the most surface at one scale are your lower numbers. So if I was refinishing a piece of furniture, I would go in with like 100 grit first, or 80 grit, depending on how bad it was, and just get the bad layers off. And then, you're going to go back with a higher number, a finer sandpaper to get a nicer finish. And then you're going to paint it and then probably sand it, and then, put your polyurethane on it. So yeah, this is super fine, and it doesn't take off a lot of paint at once. So yeah, the sanding blocks at Dollar Tree are awful. They're just not. If I've got something big enough that I need a surface like that for, I want an electric sander. But I mean, I don't care for sanding blocks at all. I have a very strong opinion about that. Those are my 5 faves. Actually, you got 6 is the bonus. But I'm going to drop a link. And I have all of this like in a like when you get in the Joyful Crafting Club, I have like kind of supply list, like a general supply list. And I tell you not to buy everything, because I'll tell you, specifically for each month. Generally, you're going to need Mod Podge. You're going to need this, or maybe a burnt umber. You don't have to start out with a decor wax or the Duraclear. It's an option. And this is even optional because you can sometimes use like a watered down brown paint, or brown paint on a baby wipe. It's just not as pigmented as this. And so the effect is going to be a little different. But like a burnt umber would probably do. This doesn't have any red in it. And that's what you want to watch out for, because you don't want to add. Some browns have a lot of red pigmentation to it. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, so I have a list in there. And then every month, like, you have a supply list. But if you had questions specifically, like, hey, do we need this? I can tell you yeah or no. It's just a general supply list. Like, you're generally going to need white paint. I use a black paint marker a lot if there's black in it in the tray. Like this month, there was no black. A couple months, but I like paint markers. So I'll let you know. And I'll teach you how to do it both ways. You can do it with a paint marker. You can do it with black paint. The paint markers are these are like $2 at Walmart. $2.50. So if you have any questions about, we've got lots of Joyful Crafting Club ladies here right now. It's a great community. If it's something that, if you need a tribe, if you need a group, if you want to up-level your home decor, and if you want to be able for frugally, right? Because what you get in the box, the value is way more. The box gets free shipping. I add in all of the embellishments, all the wood cutouts, all the scrap paper that I would use in the example. It all comes in there if I use any ribbon. And so the time and the money that would cost you to go put all of those things together, plus or have it shipped to you, is way less than what the cost of 1 month of the Joyful Crafting Club is. And so it's a great value. It's a great community. You're going to have instant friends, and you're going to meet people just like you. You're going to have a community. You're going to have a place where you feel like you're at home. You're going to have that online crafty family. And then you're going to be able to up-level your home decor. I show you how to style the tray every month. I give you ideas. And we have a lot of fun. And it's really fun to see what everyone does every month. It's really fun. So if you've got questions, you can drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. I'm going to drop the link one more time. Because we'd love to have you come join us. You can shoot me a message on Facebook if you've got questions. But it really is a great group. Gail had a question about the paint markers. Yeah, they do come in different tips. Her question is tip size. Let me show you. I'm going to kind of open this with fear and trepidation because the boys got into my paint markers. Let me show you. This is just one brand. There's a lot of brands, but if you've never had a paint marker before and you're just getting started and you don't want to buy a big set, let me put my hand behind it so you can see the difference. I was trying to get it. Let me see. It's backwards. Like if I move to anyway, I'm backwards on screen, but you see the difference in the tips. I'll put my hand up so you can see the difference. I always recommend maybe just try one or two and see how you like it before you buy a whole bunch. The only drawback about paint markers is like, you would have to do this all the navy parts because it's hard to match the acrylic paint. I wish like Folk Art would come out with like paint markers that match their acrylic paint. That would be the bee's knees. So Folk Art could do anything to make my life better. They could do that, but we have a lot of fun. So I'd love to have you join us. If you have any questions, let me know. We close. It's Friday. We close Sunday night. And then Monday we'll have like a welcome live. Get everybody in the group, and all of a sudden I'm tired. We'll have a welcome live. We'll get everybody in the group, and we'll just do a little live to welcome everybody and give them the lay of the land. So I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited for next month's box. It's going to be a fun. You're going to get a lot of mileage out of next month's box. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but yeah, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of next month's box. So I will be back tonight. We're going to craft. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to craft tonight, but we're going to craft something. We're going to do some painting. I know. I think it is the weather, Tammy. It's like, oh, hey, Sarah. The weather. This is Sarah. Say hi to Sarah. Sarah, they were commenting on how amazing your earrings are. Look, I have my tea on. This is also from Sarah's box. Told y'all I get her ultimate box, and it's amazing. But yeah, they were commenting on how awesome your earrings are. So we were just talking about the Joyful Crafting Club. We close Sunday night. So talking about all of the deets, and excited to have some new members in there, and we're going to welcome them on Monday. Yeah, they love the earrings. So I think you can only get them in our box. Sarah, are these only in the box? If you're still there, I don't know if she's still there. She's so busy, she probably pops and runs. But it is gloomy in Ohio today. Like today, if I didn't have so much to do, would be the perfect movie to like curl up on the couch with a blanket and the kids and like have a movie marathon, because it is cold and rainy and drizzly, but we need the rain. All right, ladies, I'm going to hop off here and go cut some wood. See many of y'all who I'm going to be I shipped a lot of stuff out this morning to many of you. I know, Kim, you've got a package coming. Kim Carroll. So I will see you guys again tonight. We're going to craft something really fun. And what was I going to say? I lost you guys know me. I'm scrolled into something else. Totally lost my train of thought. But I'm super excited. And again, if you have questions about the Joyful Crafting Club, let me know. And I will see you tonight. Gail, no, like the Happy Meal, Gail asked, Gail wants some Happy Meal from me. I kind of mail it all at once because it's a different process and system than like packing orders and shipping them out. So I've got a couple others to mail out that I'll do all at once, but I'll make sure that you know when it goes out. So I will see you guys tonight. We're going to have fun crafting. You guys have an awesome Friday. Enjoy your day. Hug the people you love. And I'll see you tonight and we'll be painting something really fun. All right. Mwah. I'll talk to y'all soon.